Riveting content. Empowering your life. Welcome to the Sphere. This episode is sponsored by
Cupid. Whether for friends, serious relationships, or marriage, there's a new website that matches love online. Sign up for free at ggcupid.com, the perfect matchmaker.
Elite Dental Wellness. At Elite Dental Wellness, Dr. Ashandra Batiste understands that one of the biggest obstacles is dental fear. The vision at Elite Dental Wellness is to ensure every patient is treated with respect, ultimate care, patience, and love. Call us today to make an appointment at area code 713-789-8680. Looking to advertise? Join the Sphere's vast demographic reach of thousands of people all over the world. Send an email today to advertise@thesphere.tv or call us at area code 832-772-7789.
Good evening, and welcome to episode 98 of All Things Beauty. I'm your host for the evening, Miss Amethyst Black. I can be found on Facebook and Instagram at Amethyst Black Artistry on both platforms. And let me just say, I am peacock proud and honeymoon happy to have a very, very special guest with us today. This young lady is the modern day Renaissance woman. Not only is she an educator by trade and really just accomplished in so many other areas, but she's also my sorority sister and just a fabulous woman all around. So I'd like to introduce to you today Miss Stacy.
Hi.
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. I truly do appreciate it. I know you're super, super busy, and we're going to get into your brand a little bit more, but I just want to tell you, I truly appreciate you taking out the time.
My pleasure.
It truly is amazing to have another woman support in the way that you have. So I just want to say off top, thank you for that.
You're so welcome.
So tell us a little bit about kind of like your spring ideals, because today is the first day of spring. So this is the first day of spring, right? And for a lot of people, spring means renewal. It means new energy. It means just the rebirth of a lot. And so are there any kind of beauty trends that you're looking forward to for the spring season, or?
For me, I am less is more during the spring, especially being in Houston, Texas, period.
Okay.
So I love less mascara, a little bronzer.
Okay.
You know, a little glow. Mm-hmm. You know, nothing too much, unless it's probably nighttime, but I am less is more.
Yeah, because then, you know, at nighttime, you can just up the ante a little bit, you know.
Pop a lip, something.
Exactly. Yeah. There is a very, very popular spring trend with dewy skin that we're going to talk about a little bit later in the show. But have you heard about this whole dewy skin, glowy skin type of trend?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So a lot of publications and people in general, a lot of beauty gurus are really trying to tackle this dewy skin, glowy kind of craze. So we're going to jump into that in a second. But before anything else, I'd like to discuss kind of what lipstick you're wearing. I see that we kind of both went with the pink theme here. So tell us a little bit about your look today.
I actually have on, it's Ultra Pigment lipstick by Love and Beauty, which is a Forever 21 brand.
Really?
Yes, I love it. It's Ultra Pigment. It's probably as bright as your shirt when you first put it on, but I took a lip liner, a plum lip liner, to kind of tone it down some.
I love that. Yeah. See, great minds think alike, y'all. We did not even plan this. Let me just tell you right now. So I as well have on a pink lipstick as well, or it's actually like a matte color called Mars by ColourPop. And it's super highly pigmented as well, and pretty inexpensive. You know, ColourPop stuff is maybe like $5 each. But then I also used a purple liner or a plum colored liner to kind of accentuate or lock in or just to line the lips today. So great minds thinking alike.
Yes, ma'am.
I love it. But, you know, it's super spring, and I think pink is a color that can go with multiple skin tones, but I think it just does something special on brown skin. I think it just really comes alive, especially if it's a good blue-based pink that is it seems like you and I both have on today, it really just helps the brown skin just to glow a little bit more. And so it's all season appropriate, but why not for the first day of spring? And we did not plan this at all.
Not
this
at
just
all.
happened. This is what just happened, you know. So, okay, cool. So tell us a little bit about your brand and kind of how you got started and really what motivated you in the beauty industry.
Well, I got started in 2012.
Okay.
My brand is SOLUS. In 2012, I was a part of a pageant here in Houston called Miss Black Texas Pageant, and I actually represented Houston.
Okay.
In that pageant, I had a sorority sister. She was in another division, Miss Ronisha Ray. She won her division, and my gift to her during her reign is to do her makeup.
Oh, sweet.
So she would post my work, and it literally took off from there. I was so nervous just because I used to just do it for myself, and honestly, I don't even remember how she got me to do her makeup to get started. But it literally took off from there. I've been published. I've worked with Houston stylist, well-known stylist, Rock. I've worked with many photographers, client weddings, you name it. I've done it all. I've been very blessed. I actually, to get started, I wanted to try to go into one of the storefronts. I went to 2 different storefronts in particular, few different interviews, but nothing happened. And I guess it wasn't meant because I was freelanced, and when I tell you, it's like the best decision, and I'm just so glad I stepped out on faith. And when I tell you, it's like I just think everything that I've done, I've been to different places. People have hired me to go different places. So just truly a blessing.
You know, I love that story though, that you thought you were going to start in one area or maybe kind of take off in the beauty industry kind of through one avenue. But even though that didn't happen, you still persisted. And I think that that's so awesome. I recite affirmations every day. It's just a part of kind of like even my own personal beauty regimen or just my wellness regimen, if you will. But I love one of the recent affirmations I started to kind of recite, which is, if the door doesn't open, it's not your door. And that kind of, this story just now kind of reminded me of that. Like that door didn't open, but that wasn't your door, but you still found your place.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit more about the name of your brand, because that's a unique name for a makeup business or beauty business.
Yes, it is. It's so unique and stylish.
Okay.
So it initially was going to be a shoe company I was going to start off with.
Okay.
Hence, when I spell it out, the actual acronym, when I spell it out, it's SOLE for the shoe. So so that's really how that came about. And I wasn't going to do anything with it, but Ronisha, my sorority sister I mentioned earlier, she was like, just keep SOLUS and run with it. It looks good. And I contacted one of my friends, Steve Blathan, gave me my logo, and I've been rocking with my logo since 2013, probably so.
And I love the logo. Let me just say, it's super classic. It reminds me a little bit of a mosaic.
Yes.
Was that the so that was the motivation behind it, or?
I think it's more so he was going for, I think, almost like a color palette.
Okay.
And that was his creativity with that.
Okay, I love it. But for me, just as a consumer kind of looking at the brand, it kind of reminds me of something just like bringing so many different flavors or fusions of different things. And I think that's exactly what you do as the modern day Renaissance woman. Like you're in so many different fields. So you talked a little bit about makeup. You talked about your brand actually being started because of your interest in shoes. And then, of course, you do hair as well, right?
Yes. It's
See,
just something.
you're just everywhere. Girl, what don't you do? That's the better suited question. But kind of in that same vein, like what services do you actually offer? How can actual customers book you for services, and what kind of areas do you best operate in? Is it just makeup that you love to do more than hair, or do you like both equally? Tell me a little bit about that.
I like them both, but makeup is where you can find me.
Okay.
Yeah, makeup is where you find me. If you want hair, I can refer you to someone else. But makeup, that's my stomping grounds, and people can reach me on my style seat, which is www.styleseat.com/Stacy Kent, and that's STACYKENT.
Okay, well, thank you for that. So tell me a little bit more about your beauty style. I think that as a makeup artist, you have your own beauty style or beauty look. Sometimes it could be that you best like to operate in this vein for other clients. Like this is just kind of the kind of beauty that I like or prefer to do. But it also can be like how you like to present. For me, it typically would be clean skin, good brow, and usually a lip, sometimes a lash if I'm feeling up to it. But today I decided to play with color a little bit because it's the first day of spring, so why not? But usually I don't, and it's not that I can't do it or I don't operate well in that area, but it's just where I feel most comfortable, and I also am just drawn to more classic looks. So tell me a little bit about your beauty style and how you define that for you.
For myself or my clients?
Both.
Okay. For myself, during the week when I'm going to work, I probably won't have on any makeup.
Okay.
So I like to keep the skin clean, work on any, acne or blemishes. I am a firm believer to take care of what's underneath. I don't like to just put on makeup over, your canvas is your skin underneath first. So for my clients, my style is not so heavy on application. A lot of my clients, they really like that. That's why I get my clients, because I'm not heavy on the application. They still feel like a part of themselves. Okay. I don't overdo it. Not to take away from many artists that are a little more heavy-handed. It's just my style. And it's funny because when I started off, I was nervous because I would look at other artists' work and I'm like, well, my work doesn't look like that. And look at, all these people they're getting. But come find out, that's why people came to me, because they liked that I had a soft hand. We'll say that I had a soft hand. So I definitely like that. I try to flawless skin. I love a good lash, and I love a brow. That's one of my big thing. Like if you don't have them, I'll give them to you.
I love that.
So,
and for any of our live viewers out there, we're on Facebook Live currently at the moment, but if you want to just hashtag ATB or All Things Beauty, or just comment here on the Facebook live stream, tell us what is your best beauty style? What helps define you? What is kind of your go-to everyday beauty look? We love to know. So you're absolutely right with your soft hand. I've seen you actually perform work. I've seen the magic in the making. Like I've seen her live, guys, and she's absolutely right. You have the perfect touch, the softest hand, but it's a wearable look, but it also translates so well on camera and TV. How can you ensure that? How can you ensure that something still looks soft in person, but then it's wearable on the camera too?
I like to say like the setting of the makeup.
Okay.
Good setting.
She's putting y'all on, guys. She's putting y'all on.
Definitely your primers. You want to make sure you have a good primer, and also just in the application, you want to make sure you pack it in as firmly as possible, and the spots that you need to. But definitely a good setter.
Okay, good. Well, place your bet on the set, because clearly Stacy is putting y'all on, and that's totally true, especially in Houston's hot and humid weather. Not so much now. Today was such a beautiful day as the first day of spring, but come June, ma'am.
Yes.
Ladies, gentlemen, come June and July in Houston, Texas, it's going to be a whole different story. So make sure you have your powder in your bag, in your hand, in your pocket, wherever you need it. Make sure you have it.
Yes.
So I love that. So first and foremost, I'd like to kind of transition now into our first ad of the evening. This portion of the show is actually sponsored by GGCupid. Now there is a new website that matches love online. GGCupid.com leads you to a relationship that lasts a lifetime. Whether for friends, serious relationships, or marriage, simply join beautiful people worldwide. Sign up for free today at ggcupid.com, where you can be the perfect matchmaker for yourself. Great. Well, thank you for our sponsors. We truly do appreciate your support. So now as we kind of segue into the next segment of today's show, recently, for those of you who follow me on some social media platforms, I've recently kind of just asked some viewers or just beauty enthusiasts or even everyday women. I kind of left this kind of open-ended. If you had any beauty questions, if there were anything that you kind of just had been wanting to know about makeup artistry or makeup in general, or just even for yourself. And so today I have Stacy with me, and we're going to actually answer some of these viewer-submitted questions. So are you ready, Stacy?
Yes, I'm
Some
ready.
of these you don't know, so we'll just be, these are just our raw answers, So first and foremost, there were a lot of questions that we actually received on foundation and shade matching. So I think we both can take kind of stabs at this, but I think my background in retail cosmetics, there was a a very, very strategic way that women could be shade matched for foundation. They taught us to kind of along the jawline, kind of make 3 stripes with a color that you thought was the perfect shade, and then one slightly darker and one slightly lighter. And from that, you could kind of see, and also the client could see in the mirror which actually matched her best, and kind of doing it on the neck.
Yes.
There are a lot of women who have discolorations though on the neck, or sometimes the face is darker than the rest of the body or lighter. And so sometimes there is, you know, a little massaging you have to do kind of with that. But what's kind of your take on shade matching?
I have to agree. I use the jawline as well and the neck. Definitely, I go with the neck sometimes. You mentioned discoloration. That is often big, sometimes definitely in African-American skin.
Yeah.
So I do pay close attention to that. Sometimes I might not have a perfect match, but then that's when I get to mixing. So
yes, and I think that is truly the mark of a true artist.
Yes.
Especially because we're makeup artists who travel a lot for clients or other events. You don't want to have a heavy kit, you know.
Right.
You want to, as an artist or even as an everyday woman, make sure that you condense your products as much as possible. And so you can really tell a true artist because they may not have 150 shades in their kit, but best to believe they can get you together in all ways because they'll be able to match you effectively with mixing and matching a few shades. So I'm so glad you said that.
Yes.
Now, along with that, a lot of women have different undertones. Some women are olive in terms of undertones. Some women are golden or red. Some actually have a more neutral palette in undertone, so they don't really have a very prominent undertone. But it is very important that, ladies, when you're out there, you're talking or thinking about shade matching, that you are sensitive to those undertones. I can't tell you how many times I've seen young ladies match themselves, and they think that in the bottle, oh, this is my shade, and oh, I put it on, but maybe 10 or 15 minutes after you put on the foundation, it may oxidize, and it will be a totally different color than what it was when you initially applied it. And so you want to be sensitive to that. If you're trying out a brand new product, try it at home, get a sample maybe from Sephora or MAC, because they also do give samples, and try that on your face first if you're not a professional. But I truly do suggest you go with Stacy's recommendation of even mixing and matching, because formulation is a good thing as well. Like sometimes you may be in love with the formulation of a foundation, and so you're trying to find your perfect color, but you just can't, you can't let go of that formula. It just looks good on your skin or whatever it is for you, that is the draw. So I've been there before. One of my favorites.
I struggle with it myself.
Do you?
Yes.
So do you what do you do to remedy that for yourself?
Sometimes if I don't feel like mixing, I'm either going to be a little lighter or sometimes I'm going to be more tan.
Yeah.
And if not, I have to mix those two to get that perfect combination. But today I just did like a spot corrector, and I took a spicy brown color, and I just took that over the areas I spot corrected.
Well, it's flawless. It's absolutely even. But your makeup always is. Like, even if you're just like, girl, I just did a little something. It's always like flawless. So that doesn't surprise me. Okay, question number 2. What makeup brands do you suggest for women of color with combination skin?
One of my recent favorites that I tend to use a lot would be by Maybelline Matte Poreless.
Really?
And I love it. I love it. And it's inexpensive.
Oh. They're going to love that.
Yes.
Y'all love that out there. I know y'all love the inexpensive.
Yes. So, and they have a lot of different warm tones, too, to cater to. Sometimes you can't find good shades for our skin tones, the warmer tones, but I think they did a really good job on covering the spectrum.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad you said a liquid as well, because for those of you who may not know, foundation comes in different formulations, and we just kind of alluded to formulations a minute ago. But you can have a cream, you can have a liquid, you can have really one that's very, very water-based, like MAC Face and Body. That's, really, really sheer. So, and of course, there's powder and some cream to powder. So there's a plethora of different formulations in foundation. What I really like to go to for my combination ladies is a liquid. I really do like liquids. And so it sounds like you do too with your product recommendation.
Liquid. That particular brand.
You know, but I would have to say I'm kind of a cheat here. My favorite formulation ever is cream. I love a good cream. It just, the way it moves on the skin is just like none other, y'all. I'm telling you. And it photographs so well. The skin looks like skin. It's just like emanating with glowiness. And I just love a good cream.
Yes.
But like we said before, here in Houston or any kind of more tropical climate, or even just in heat in general, no matter where you are, you can be in the desert, but just if you're prone to sweating, that cream is not going to be your friend. And so many people can say, oh, it's how you prime it and how you set it. But for long wear, if you have a 12-hour workday ahead of you, you may not want to be looking at a cream. So I'm so glad you said that, because the liquid is definitely going to be your friend.
Yes.
And would you tell me a little bit more about this matte and poreless? Do you think it's full coverage, medium? Is it buildable? What's up with that?
It's definitely buildable. Yes. The less you apply, of course, you will see through if you're not priming your makeup correctly, or just not if you're not putting a primer on, period. So it is definitely buildable. So you can, if people want a more dramatic look, if you want to use that term, but it's definitely buildable.
Okay, cool. Well, for our Facebook Live viewers out there, this is the point of the show where we're actually going to say goodbye. We have actually a few more questions to answer. So if you'd like to hear the answers to these questions and more, because more is definitely coming, then switch on over to our iTunes platform or to our YouTube platform and see a lot more and the answers to the rest of these questions. Thanks for tuning in with us today. But before you go, we actually do ask that you subscribe to our show on all major platforms, including iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Stitcher. Review our show on iTunes with constructive feedback as well, and share this Facebook Live post and the entire show with your family and friends. Also, if it's on your heart, we ask that you donate to our mission to bring enriched and inspiring content each and every week. You can donate at www.thesphere.tv/donate. Thank you all for viewing us today. And Stacy, if you want to tell our Facebook Live people bye.
Bye. Thanks for having me.
Yes. All right, guys. Have a good evening. Got some comments there, too. Okay, so we're going to transition on with more of our questions. Question number 3. What does one have to do to achieve a super smooth, flawless foundation look?
I definitely agree with, I believe in starting off with making sure the skin is moisturized. You don't want to just go ahead and think you can apply a foundation to the skin. You will tell a difference. So definitely moisturize the skin, and then you want to prime the skin. The primer is going to help as that's going to be that canvas, that base underneath for the foundation is going to help with the oiliness. If you're using a particular primer that combats for that, it also is going to help the long wear, the longevity for the foundation as well. Okay.
So I know ladies are thinking out there, but she said moisturize. Do I still moisturize if I'm oily?
Yes, you're just going to have to use a moisturizer that is comparable to your skin type.
Absolutely.
So, yes. And when it comes to application, I'm kind of over the place when I do use it. I might use a beauty blender, or I might use, it's by, what is the brand name that has the bamboo stick? I can't think of.
I know what you're talking about.
Eco
Tools. Yes.
Tools. They have a almost like a stipling brush, and I love to use it, and I dab into the skin. I don't go like this. One of the common mistakes people might do, they're not familiar with the makeup application. Yeah. Those swiping motions, and no, you don't want to do that. You want to pat it in, and you can tell a difference. And I suggest for beginners to use that beauty blender, because it's going to do a lot of the work for you. Okay, that's actually our next question. But Stacy's absolutely completely correct. I agree with you on that. On the moisturizer tip, you may want to use, especially if you're oily, a gel-based moisturizer. I've noticed that some of those are better suited for oily skin. And then if you have more dry skin or more normal skin, you can definitely go in with your cream or whatever. I've also seen a lot of makeup artists use the technique where after they apply the moisturizer, they may absorb excess emollients from the skin with maybe a napkin or some sort of other cloth that can kind of pick that extra oiliness up, and that may actually help as well, so that you go into the foundation application with moisturized, clean skin, but it's not overly moisturized or overly emollient. And so maybe that's one thing that they can take away from that.
So as we were talking about, the very next question was about beauty blenders. Is this beauty blender hype really all it's cracked up to be? Is the one necessary? What do you think?
I wouldn't say it's necessary. I think it comes down to a preference, but it is very helpful. Like I said, it takes out a lot of work. Definitely if you're beginning or you like makeup and you just don't like the time spent to apply it, the beauty blender is going to go ahead and do all the application for you as far as making sure it's blended well. So
yes.
I do believe that a beauty blender is very helpful, and also certain type of beauty blenders, they come in different shapes and sizes to get in certain corners or underneath areas that you might not can get with a brush or a foundation brush or something like that.
Absolutely. So another question that someone else had asked online as well was, is this even a best method or the best method to blend contour? I don't really think that it's separate. I don't feel like blending foundation has to be a separate application model or type or technique than blending contour. It's still wearable, movable foundation or liquid or cream product on your face. So you can still use, would you agree, that you can still use the beauty blender or the brush or whatever you're using?
Yes, but unless you're using the powder.
True.
So that's the only thing you probably won't be able to use the beauty blender.
Yes. So that actually brings up such a salient point. If you're actually using, I'm thinking about cream because I only use cream contours, or because I love that they can move. With powders, I use powders mainly to set, and so once you put a powder somewhere, it's pretty much there. But creams and liquids, you can actually move around and shift and play with if you want to add more or less or take away. And so I find just the composition of a cream or a liquid contour better suits me and what I do on my brand. But you're absolutely right. Powders are such an important tool as well. And some women who really don't want a super heavy kind of contoured look can just go in with a little powder and get it together.
One of my favorite ones is Blunt by MAC. I like to use that.
Is that a blush actually?
It is. Did I use it?
Get it together, Stacy.
So
she's putting y'all on too for real.
I like to use that for MAC, and for my more melanated clients, one of my clients, she told me about it, and I absolutely love it, and I use it. It's called Chocolate Chip. It's by Chocolate Chip. It's Fashion Fair, and it's called Chocolate Chip.
You know,
there we go. Get it together.
And Fashion Fair been getting ladies of brown skin tones together for decades. My great grandmother used Fashion Fair. One thing about it, don't lose it. So Fashion Fair has always been a go-to.
Yes.
So don't sleep. Even though we're in 2018, Fashion Fair can always be.
I'm telling you, Chocolate Chip, and you'll thank me later. Yes.
Is it just matte, or does it have sparkle in chocolate chip, or what is?
It's a slight sparkle in it, but it's not. But the heavier, the more I guess pigmented it'll pick up some more of the browns, but you can definitely be light-handed. Actually use it as a blush sometimes or a contour. And being that it is a powder, I like to use a kabuki brush to blend it out.
Okay.
So I go in circular motions and upward motions if I'm doing a contour, and circular motions around the contour areas.
I love that. Okay. Well, thank you for that tip. I'm gonna have to try that myself.
You'll love it.
Okay. So another question that was viewer submitted is, so I love eye makeup, but I'm actually not a fan of foundation. Is it okay to do an eye makeup look every day and still make it look wearable without all of the face makeup?
I think it is, but you can't go in with expectations for that finished look as you would with foundation. So
okay.
So,
and I think that that's a perfect point. I like to build on that and say if it's a slight. So basically, you can't do a smoky eye. Well, you can. I shouldn't say can't.
Right.
But I wouldn't advise you to do
It'll
a heavy
crazy.
black smoky eye, because smoky can be anything. You don't have to do black, but a lot of people like a good brown smoky eye. That's actually my favorite. Or you can do a purple eye and smoke it out, or a green, whatever you fancy. But I don't recommend a strong black smoky eye with the heavy liner and the 3 double stack lashes and then nothing on the skin. It is going to look a little unfinished. But if you do a slight, maybe a gold or silver, whatever looks best on your skin tone, and maybe a nice little transition color, and maybe a little something on the brow bone for just a little tickle of shimmer, maybe a light look will work, and maybe some mascara, and maybe you don't want to do full-on foundation on the skin, but nothing's wrong with a little blush.
Yes, a little blush. If you want bronzer, that's my go-to during spring, summer.
Absolutely.
naked face, bronzer on the cheekbones.
That's it.
A good lash and gone.
Because once you have that skin, and Stacy also talked about it before, the importance of good skincare can never be said enough. Like, it's so important to have good, such a good skincare regimen. And so once you do have that good, clear skin, you really can build anything on top of that. But you do want to make sure that you're protecting it from the sun as well. So even if you don't have on makeup with an SPF, make sure that you have a moisturizer or a clear on translucent powder that has an SPF component, because you still want to protect that skin.
Yes, okay. I agree.
Cool. So we're actually going to take a little break here and say that this portion of the show is sponsored by Elite Dental Wellness. At Elite Dental Wellness, our vision is to create a welcoming practice that will offer exceptional dental care and a lifetime of dental wellness. We are committed to the finest possible oral care and overall health. We're also committed to the well-being of our patients. Elite Dental Wellness is built upon a foundation of integrity, expertise, and service. Through our commitment to modern dentistry, continuing education, and a friendly atmosphere, we also strive to make sure that our patients feel that they are part of our family. Dentistry can be scary, daunting, uncomfortable. But Dr. Baptiste and her team work tirelessly to ensure your comfort. Make your appointment today with Dr. Chandra Baptiste at Elite Dental Wellness by calling 713-789-8680. Okay. Thank you once again to our sponsors. So, moving on with our questions, we have a couple more. Y'all were ready with the questions, baby. Let me just say, and they brought it out. They actually have some really, really good questions. I was like, that's good. I had to think about it. So, another question, and this is more so for those of you who may actually be makeup artists or in the beauty industry. One question that we received was about agency representation. And if you are a makeup artist, then you probably already kind of know kind of what we're talking about here. But one actual person asked about, is it better to be a freelance artist, or is it actually beneficial to have agency representation? What do you think about it?
I honestly think to each his own.
Okay.
Me coming from a freelance background, for me, I love the freedom. I love, I'm a traveling teacher. So, so to get up and go, and I feel like I'm just more flexible, definitely if it's my time or my client's time. So I feel more flexible. So it's to each his own, you know. Maybe under a company, I feel like maybe there's certain things you can't do, you know, as far as contractual wise.
Yeah,
so
true.
Yeah, freelance, I know I can do multiple jobs and projects. So
my answer to that, you know, I think it really depends on where you are in your artistry journey. Where you are actually in terms of what you want to do with your brand. Because for some women who may want to do bridal, having agency representation may not be necessary, because you can actually book brides quite frequently and effectively on your own through other marketing avenues. But if your main goal as a makeup artist is to do something in television, film, or in another kind of more photography, more high-end Vogue, if you will, then having agency representation is probably going to be necessary for some of those fields to kind of enter into. Because when Vogue is looking to cast a makeup artist for their next big shoot, they're going to go to their, you know, an agency and look at to see who's on their roster. Having agency representation definitely is going to have a solid backing behind you. I wouldn't say that you have to work any harder or any less, because a lot of people think, oh, once I get agency representation, I don't have to book my own gigs. I just chill, sit back. No, you still need to be in the work mindset. You still need to have that hustle mindset, but it's just different. You also need to still have that hustle mindset, because what if you're not getting booked through gigs for your agency? Your agency may have some really top-notch other makeup artists on their roster, and maybe you're not getting the top-notch gigs. So you still have to have that hustle mindset and mentality, but it's just going to be different. So I think it depends on a few factors, but either way is good, depending on kind of what your eventual goals are.
Yes,
you know?
I agree. Yeah.
Okay. So another question that we did actually receive was about bottom lashes, and I love bottom lashes. You know, I'm just coming into my love for bottom lashes. So let me be frank about it.
I'm still looking for mine.
But you know, I recently found in a beauty supply. It was actually at the Makeup Artist Project. They actually have like individual bottom lashes, not the clusters. I'm talking about individual strands.
Yes.
Which I'm sure I haven't tried them on anyone yet, but I bought like 5 because I know I'm going to have to practice one day. But I actually like the idea for individuals who may cry a lot or have watery eyes, or maybe a bride where you don't want to put mascara on the bottom, but you love that look of that baby doll, you know, that open eye look, because the bottom lashes do give a good look. Yes, you know, just to come hither, you know, they do something to the eye. So I do appreciate the look, but sometimes I don't want to lean completely on mascara. But I have bought these lashes that I'm excited to try because they're individual strands, and so they won't be washing off. I mean, if the person really, really cries, you know, that adhesive may come apart or loose, but for the most part, I'm really thinking that this may be a promising venture. But so that's going to be my answer, is the individual falsies, and they come in different lengths. So you can get short, medium. I think that's the only 2 lengths they make in the bottom lashes, maybe even a long. But it really is good. Once again, it's going to take much longer to apply than a mascara at the bottom, but the overall look and the longevity can definitely probably work in your favor. So what is your go-to response for those bottom lashes?
Bottom lashes, I'm still a mascara girl.
Okay. Yeah, and that's the go-to.
Yes, I'm still just a mascara girl, but I do agree they do give the eyes more of a pop if you're looking for that type of look. Nothing against them. I just haven't taken the time, you know, because it does take time to apply them. So I do know that, but they do look gorgeous once they on.
They do. So, you know, I mean, no one can ever dispute that. Lashes are lashes, honey. I mean, it's a whole industry now, right? They have amazing lash studios all over the country, and independent lash.
They open the eye.
They do.
They open the eye.
And, you know, if they say that the eye is the window to the soul, so you want to make sure that that's adorned, you know, perfectly as well. So, yeah, I do love a good lash. And so one of the final questions that we did receive, and I think we actually probably answered it throughout the course of our conversation just now, but is primer really necessary? We hear a lot in the industry about priming, and you mentioned before one of your steps how you like to, for our combo ladies, in that response, she mentioned that she likes to prime the skin and moisturize the skin. So would you really say priming is necessary for women of all kind of skin types?
Yes. They have all type of different primers. That's what some people don't know.
Teach us.
So they have all type for different skin types.
Yeah.
For myself, and I do see a lot of clients with oily skin. What are my go-tos, and most people don't know the trick of the trade, is milk of magnesia. Ooh. So you can take that, and people are like, and it's funny when they're when they're in the chair and they see the bottle on my makeup vanity, they're like, is that like for your stomach? So yes, and it does work. Definitely, you have oily skin, you just take a foundation brush or even your hand and lightly put it over your face, and it will dry in a white cast. But if you go heavy-handed, of course you're going to see it. But what I have noticed, if you were too heavy with it and you put your foundation over it, sometimes it can show through as a cast. So what I like to do is take a setter, a spray setter, to kind of I guess help blend it out some.
Yes.
And so it definitely helps. I'm a sweater too, so I will get oily so fast. So I live by it.
Yeah.
So definitely in my T-zone area.
Yeah. Okay. So. And I absolutely agree. Also, Becca is a really good primer for our oily ladies. If you've ever heard of Becca Evermatte, which is a really, really great alternative to that. But Stacy is absolutely correct. It is a crime not to prime. Ladies, don't be caught out here in these summer streets in Houston or wherever you reside without a primer. Like, let's just be clear. And she's absolutely right. They do have primers for every single skin type. What I really have been playing with, and I'm wearing a primer today from Smashbox, and it's the Radiance Primer. It has like crushed up fine pearls, if you will, or shine or shimmer to it. And so it's mixed in with their original kind of clear primer. And so it makes for just like the perfect little glowiness underneath the foundation. And I actually am attracted to that. I do love a glowy look. And so I like to, sometimes I actually don't even set my makeup. I'll put on that kind of radiance primer, put on my liquid Lancome Tint Idol foundation, and then sometimes I won't even set if it's just a short day. Like maybe I'm going to brunch and I just want to be sitting outside with, you know, breathable looking flawless skin to serve the people. You know, I mean, I'll just do that. And so, I mean, it really just depends, but notice that I always do prime. So.
Yes. You know, MAC has one, and they actually have like the gold particles. Ooh. But I use that, ladies of oily skin. Oh my goodness. Do not.
So it's not for,
Oh my goodness. So
would you say maybe dry women, ladies?
Definitely. Yes, dry skin. If not, you're going to be looking like a disco ball. So I was like, oh my goodness. And I was happy they let me return it too, because I was like, okay, this is doing adverse effect of what I wanted to.
So there are levels to this, as the kids say. There are levels to this priming situation.
Yes,
but
look into your skin type, like you said. If you have your dry skin, that's so true. So yes, look into that.
Okay, absolutely. And so, Stacy, I like to just close our question segment with: have you received any questions, or what are maybe some of the top question that you receive as a makeup artist?
One of them, I could say one of my most recent one, eyeliner. I have clients asking what is a good eyeliner that doesn't run, that's going to stay in place. And I am one of those makeup artists. I like to look for save your bucks type products that work. By NYX, they have a liner, and it's no more than $5, and I'm probably reaching by saying $5.
Wow, that's good.
But it's Deepest Black. And I kid you not, that's the only liner I've used for the past probably 3 years now.
Wow.
So Deepest Black by NYX.
And you noticed it works on women with sensitive eyes, regular,
Yes, I have not had any issues for clients that have said they are sensitive when it comes to liners. But it's definitely, it goes on, you know, so the deeper you go as far as, you know, the application, the firmness, it can give you that extra pop. But I love it.
Well, good to know. Well, Stacey's recommendation is perfect if you are trying to save a few bucks, and I definitely do agree. Now, if you just have money to blow and splurge, ladies, check out Marc Jacobs. They have a really great gel liner, and it is a pencil form, but it's actually gel inside, and it's quite amazing. The one I like is the Deepest Black color they have, and it's called Blacker, like a play on the word lacquer. And so it's really great option. It's not a whole lot of product in the tube, but it runs about $25, and it's really a great product. I've used it on clients before. Some of my regular clients have actually purchased it on their own because I actually really do love it. But I need to actually compare it to this liner that you're talking about, because I can save a hot 20 and be getting the same look. So either way, eyeliner is definitely going to be a great option to rim the eye and really to kind of bring it all together, from the top lashes that we talked about to those bottom falsies. We want to make sure that the eyes are rimmed.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Stacy, for answering those questions during that segment with me. But this portion of the show is actually sponsored by The Sphere. Are you starting your business and looking for a place to advertise? Do you have a need to reach out to thousands of people across the world to build your brand or sell your product? If so, get your product placement and advertising needs handled right here on The Sphere. We offer a wide variety of content delivery platforms, including iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, YouTube, and Stitcher. Plus, we have a vast demographic reach within the United States, as well as modern countries across the globe. Our enriched content and inspiring dialogue, coupled with your strategic ad, is surely to hit the mark every single time. Call today at area code 832-772-7789 or send an email over to advertise@thesphere.tv. Perfect. Okay. So we're getting ready to close the show, but I did not want to close without, and we've mentioned it a few times before today on the beginning of this show, is that today is the first day of spring. It may not mean a lot to y'all, but I'm really into my seasons. Yes. I love seasons. I think that they just help really kind of bring a consistency to life. And people talk about seasons on a large scale, like a new season of life. Well, this is a new season in nature. And I think that it brings people alive in the spring when it's not too hot, it's not too cold. cold. Unfortunately, people with allergies, unfortunately, have been having such a hard time this season. And so I know a lot of my makeup wearers who typically would like to do a heavy makeup eye look probably are steering clear of that because of the spring pollen and everything else that's in the air. But my question to you, Stacy, is a lot of people have been talking about this dewy look for the spring. And are you into the dewy look? And if so, how do you achieve it?
For me, no, just because
no, not
just because I have oily skin. So even if I apply it lightly, it's still going to come out like, what are you doing? You know,
Okay.
But it looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like if I'm going somewhere where I'm just going to be sitting, like you mentioned before, okay, it's perfect, you know, but honestly, I have not dabbled into that area just because I just imagine a grease ball on my face.
Yeah.
So it scares me.
And ladies, let her be clear, because that is such a good point. It is a difference between a glow and an oily, slick face. Like, let's just be clear and let's get it all out on the table. When people are talking about achieving this dewy, glowy, kind of springtime, fresh look, they're typically talking about like illuminating the high points of the face, where the light would naturally hit the face, along the bridge of the nose, under the eyebrow, maybe right there at the cheek, on the jaw, or on the cheekbone, even sometimes a little bit on the chin. I think that's going a little too far, but they still do it. So they really want to highlight where light naturally hits the face, and just to bring a really youthful shine, because oftentimes once you put foundation on and then powder, you've kind of created this blank canvas. And so to add more luminosity to the skin and make it come alive a little bit, a more youthful appearance, then people go in with the bronzer or with the glow agent and kind of help illuminate the skin. But don't go overboard.
Yes.
And this is actually preaching to myself. So I'm actually talking more so to myself than anyone else, because I too have oily skin. I do. And I just embrace it. I mean, I love the look. I can't tell you. I just love the look of just glowing everywhere. So I have to tell myself, like, okay, there's a fine line between a glow and just oil all over. And
see, I'm like that when my skin is bare. Okay. My face is bare. I'm like, okay, glow on. You know?
Perfect. So either way, I've been embracing it with makeup and with bare skin.
It looks good on you.
Thank you. But, you know, I also have to be careful or women in general, because with round faces, you already have a tendency, light hits your face at other points as well because it's more circumference. But I don't care. I'm just glowing. I'm just dipping my face all in the shimmer. So have a lot of your clients actually been asking or requesting a more glowy look, even if they aren't saying, oh, it's springtime, give me a dewy look? Have they maybe been requesting a more glow?
They wouldn't use the word dewy, but I have some clients like highlight me up.
Okay,
so yes, they want to see those cheekbones definitely. And sometimes I even get a request, no, I need more on my nose, please, more on my nose. But definitely, yes. The cheekbones, that's definitely, I think that's in season, any season. Yeah. So, yeah.
Agreed. Okay. Well, thank you for tackling that with me. So, ladies, now you know you're equipped for this dewy or glowy look, if you want to or if you don't want to, kind of attempt it on your own. So, as we come to the close of the show, I'd like to maybe highlight, going back. Okay, that wasn't even intended. I like that. But what are you looking forward to in your brand? Where do you see yourself in 5 years with your beauty brand? Are you thinking about evolving? Would you like to maybe stay in this space and just change a little bit? What are you thinking about in 5 years?
I probably would like to switch it up a little bit as far as product wise. Like I said, I am a firm believer in taking care of the skin. So if I can dabble in that as well as other products as far as actual makeup products. Okay. But yes, that's something I am looking forward to, and already kind of doing research on. So we shall see.
I love on multiple streams, passive income, making money while you sleep. This is what I'm saying, Miss Stacy Kent, and I know a lot of people know her, and she is the most humble woman ever. And when I say that she is involved in so many industries, she's everywhere. You must have a lot of energy, because I see you, honey, working out at like 5 a.m. and then you're on for a full day, and then you got clients on a weekend. I mean, she's just like, girl, let me borrow. Let's just bottle your energy and sell it, because I need some. So she is truly the epitome of the modern day Renaissance woman. So when I was thinking about the topic of this show, you were the first person I thought about. So thank you so much again for sharing your story and sharing your time. And with that, thank you so much, viewers and listeners. If you're listening to today's show, we truly do appreciate your time as well. Look forward to seeing you next week here on All Things Beauty. Y'all have a blessed night.